Hey, Jeffrey Scott here, the Ultimate Landscape CEO podcast. Special episode today. I'm going to share with you the 10 steps to financial mastery for landscape entrepreneurs. I'm going to take you from the basic all the way through to ultimate mastery. Wherever you are on the step ladder, pay attention, find your step, find where you maybe need to go back a step, and then take off with me. This is inspired by our upcoming Financial Masterclass. If you look in the show notes, you can find a link, and our early bird only has a couple days left. Either way, you can sign up. It takes place in January, but you need to sign up now. And so it's a bit of a teaser, if you will. I'm going to go through these 10 steps, information all the way that will help you. And we're actually going to be teaching these 10 steps during the Financial Masterclass. This is really about not you becoming a financial nerd, an accountant, but really about gaining confidence, control, making better decisions, ultimately faster and more profitable growth, and ultimately more freedom for you, right? Business maturity starts with financial maturity. And so I'm going to walk you through these 10 steps. And whether you're 1 million or 25 or 50 million, they will all apply to you. So, step one, get financially grounded, right? This means a proper chart of accounts, which many of you have, but we will show you in the Financial Masterclass. It means clean bookkeeping. A lot of people have the right accounts and don't have clean bookkeeping, I have noticed. This also means the ability to do accurate and timely job costing. If you're in install, absolutely critical. This means being able to close your books at 10 days, and ideally you could squeeze it down to 5. But if you're at 15 or more, and some of you takes even longer, force your company to get down to 10 days closing, because that'll force you to really tie all the loose ends of the paperwork that need to get completed to close your books. And it actually has a positive ripple effect by forcing you to close your books sooner. So to get financially grounded, you've got to go through um, this basic steps, including the chart of accounts, so you know what your gross profit margin is, you know what all your equipment costs are, you can separate direct labor from indirect, and then you have all your overheads figured out. Absolutely critical. And then doing it by division. This is still part of step one, but it's the advanced level of step one to getting financially grounded. And so, can you pull an accurate gross margin by division right now? Some of you probably can even do a net profit by division, but at least a gross margin. Okay, step two, benchmark reality. So, it's really a triangle. There's 3 points to benchmarking. There's against your budget, there's against last year, then there's against other people. You for sure have to do those 2 steps. And then with our Financial Masterclass, we're going to show you how to, and we're going to benchmark you against other people. So you can see in the different parts of your business where you're underperforming, where you're average, where you're overperforming. Everybody can improve. And in every year, it's going to be a little bit different. Uh, Owners tell me all the time, I thought our margins were pretty good, and they may have been until I saw what great companies were doing. Or I thought we were really killing it until I saw, where our overhead was lean, but our margin was lean too. And really, we've really been struggling to scale because of that. And so all these different uh, highlights is what you'll gain through the Financial Masterclass through actual benchmarking. Benchmarking turns invisible gaps into actual improvement targets. And so that's step two. Step three to financial mastery is focusing on the right KPIs, right? Not all numbers are equal. You need a handful of numbers that are going to drive your business and influence really the whole business, right? There's gross profit by division, there's direct labor ratio, there's billable versus non-billable, there's sales closing ratios, even a break-even revenue that you need, overhead burden. We're going to show you benchmarking with many line items, but we're also going to highlight the top 18 to pay attention to. And you ultimately will need to choose your own KPI dashboard, right? We're going to give you what average company needs, but you're going to find based on your unique mix, right? Are you doing irrigation or not? Are you doing bid build or design build or both? Are you doing commercial maintenance, maybe also residential maintenance? You're going to have a different dashboard, a custom one, but it's critical, and we're going to get you going on the right track by highlighting key KPIs that you should be looking at. That's where the power comes from. Step 4 in financial mastery, taking everything we've talked about here so far and building a financial operating system, an FOS. I love this. Now that you know what to measure, you need to embed it into how you're going to run your business, right? You're going to have your scoreboards. You're going to develop financial rhythm for getting your reports, closing your books and getting your reports and reviewing your numbers. You're going to develop a structured review method. What are the smart companies doing that the less savvy companies are not? How do I create accountability using my finances and my dashboards, right? Where does forecasting come in? And so these are absolutely critical to pull all this together to have what I call a financial operating system. This is how you transition from, well, we look at numbers sometimes, or yeah, we do look at our numbers monthly, but we don't make a lot of decisions. 2, numbers run the business, and the business runs smoother because of it, because of this financial operating system that we've put together. And so once you've done that, you can price with confidence. Now, this is a bit iterative, so sure, you need to price with confidence up front to get better numbers, but once you've got your financial operating system set up, you can really do a better job of pricing where math meets courage. Too many landscape companies are either charging what they charged earlier or just making, last year, or making incremental changes, or charging what they think their competitors are charging, or charging what they think the buyer will tolerate. And these are all get you into trouble, right? You've got to figure out your bottom line, your average price based on labor burden, overhead structure, using benchmarking and target profits. But then some of the items you sell, you may have to do a little bit lower, and others you can do a little bit higher. And then you can use my profit pyramid to realize that there's hidden overheads. Small jobs have hidden overhead that don't show up in your estimating system, but small jobs that you can estimate quickly and sell quickly and implement quickly actually allows you to sell with a higher emotional impact, right? It's more of a emotional buying instead of logical buying from your client. So it allows you to get that higher margin, which you actually need because you have hidden overhead in those smaller jobs. So that's where math meets courage. You got to use math, and you got to have courage as well to achieve that 15% net commercial and 20% net in residential. This is really about a mindset upgrade, pricing with confidence. That's step 5. Step 6 to financial mastery is optimizing the whole system for profit. Once pricing is correct, now you can reduce waste and sharpen execution. Profit leaks out of your business from crew inefficiency, which happens in so many ways. Crew size, density, preparedness before they leave the job, leave your facility, how much time they spend uh, setting up for the morning, and whether they stop, right, on the way to the job. So that's unbillable versus billable. So crew inefficiency, overstaffing. Often companies are overstaffed, and it happens in the bookends. Sometimes it happens at the end of the week. Sometimes it happens towards the end of the year, where you're not managing transitions efficiently. Poor estimating. We talked about that a little bit with job costing. You've got to have a system for managing job cost fade and getting that to zero. Overhead creep, yes, that can creep in, especially when revenue uh, trends down and you're not managing the revenue to the overhead. And sometimes we have unnecessary equipment growth. Your accountant tells you to spend more to save on taxes, but really you end up with some of you end up with equipment that you're just not optimizing, and it becomes a profit suck as opposed to a element of driving profit. So you want to optimize for profit. Profit is not what's left over; it's what you design into the business. I have seen and I've helped companies go from 5% net to 18% net and above by optimizing for profit. This is where discipline that you bring into your business, and not just lean management, but discipline across the board, that creates serious lift in your profitability. Step 7, align the team to the numbers. This happens so many ways. Yes, it happens with sharing your scoreboards and your dashboards with your team. Yes, it happens by setting goals with your team and sharing the actuals with them. Yes, it happens by being transparent and sharing the plan. You hide your numbers from your team, they're just going to guess what the numbers are, and they're probably going to guess higher profitability than you're actually making. So don't be scared. Share the numbers, share the plan, keep them up to date. You're better employees. It will help them make better decisions. You also need to share the why behind the numbers. Once your employees start to really understand the numbers, they can start to play to win. Alignment builds ownership. And now we can start really fine tuning our incentives and even profit sharing. And that could be a whole separate podcast, but you can ask me about it. We're going to have, we're going to allow you to put us on the hot seat, me included, during our financial masterclass. So when you sign up for that, you're going to be able to ask questions about incentives. This is probably one of the most common areas where people need help, and I understand it. And it's part of step 7 in financial mastery. And we're covering all of these different steps in our financial masterclass, by the way. And we're going to have different speakers, not just myself and not just people from our Jeffrey Scott consulting team, but we have some outside experts as well that are really going to share quite a bit. We're bringing in outside economists to talk to you what they think is going to happen this year. For example, personally, I think we're going to have a booming 2026. And I'm going to tell you about the reasons why on our financial masterclass. And I'll be curious to hear what the economist says. He's going to bring data and numbers, and I bring sort of my macro experienced approach to this. And so that will give you confidence as you go to scale your business using financial mastery. Okay, we've covered 7 steps so far. Step 8 is gamification, and we're also bringing an expert to speak about gamification during the financial masterclass. Gamification is in step 8 is tied closely to step 7, right? Aligning the team to the numbers. But now we're really going to make a game out of it and make fun of it, where weekly crew can have this challenge of efficiency, and you can use forced ranking to see which crews were the most efficient. And you can also score with green, yellow, and red so that anybody in the green can feel good. But it's also a great ego play when you can say, hey, man, I had the best week, bragging rights. I had the best week this week. It doesn't even take throwing money, although money helps. But gamification, people just love to play and win, and they love to know that they're winning. It gives them confidence and security in their job. And if someone's not winning, the more achievement-minded ones will want to look for help. And by you playing a public game, you're going to know to help them. And so you should be looking to set up games on things that are financial. You can also do it around communication, client communication. You can also do it around quality, right? So gamification really taps into recognition, the competitive spirit, highlighting and creating progress, creates community because we're all in this game together. And you have to make sure that that's the way you stress gamification. It creates the dopamine impact, right? And operationally, people get to say, hey, we have what it takes to hit our numbers. Let's go. Who doesn't want to be part of a winning team? So that's step 8. Step 9 is planning forward, not backwards. Financial mastery really takes hold when you're not just looking at lagging indicators, P&L and L and numbers on how we did yesterday, last week, last month, or even today, this week, this month, but planning forward. And so that means using leading indicators, which we will talk about. That means using the rolling budget that all my clients are set up with, which allows you to see where you're headed and if you have what it takes to finish the year on budget, and helps you reforecast and replan as you go. And so you want to align the team, as I spoke about on step 7, aligning the team to the numbers, but you also want to align the team to the reforecasting and the rejiggering of your plans. And so financial mastery is absolutely about planning forward and not just backwards, right? Your financials are not just a history lesson. The financial operating system I spoke about needs to be set up to create that crystal ball. Now the business becomes proactive. Now you become the proactive leader. You're not just in a surviving cycle, but you're really steering the company. Lastly, step 10, making the business more valuable as a financial enterprise, right? This is thinking beyond profits, cash flow, balance sheet. It's about creating something that's inherently valuable, which means it's more stable and more beneficial to your employees. It means the systems are transferable. It means the financial performance is documented and it's consistent. It means your processes are documented as well. It means we don't depend on you, the owner, and if you get sick, we can still move on. And we don't really depend on any single key player. That makes the whole business more valuable and more stable. It means we have predictable cash flow. And so we're going to bring on an expert to talk about this, because it really is something that everybody should be driving towards, because it makes the business itself more stable. So to recap, 10 steps to financial mastery: get financially grounded, start benchmarking against reality, focus on the right KPIs, and then altogether build a financial operating system. And so that step 5, you can price with confidence. Step 6, you can be optimizing for profit, which you're probably doing right along, but now that you have the right tools and KPIs, you can really have at it. Step 7, aligning the team, bringing the team on board, which then allows you to think about incentives and gain sharing. Step 8, gamifying the numbers, right? Not just for money, but for fun, and create a culture of winning in your company. Step 9, being able to plan forward using leading indicators and forecasting to steer your company and make changes as you go. And then the final step is building a more valuable business. Sorry if you hear some dogs barking in the background, because they want that valuable business as well. I don't know if you can hear the dogs, but those are the 10 steps. We're going to be covering these steps in our financial masterclass. Go to the link. It's not too late. Sign up, join us. And if you can't make that, but you'd like what we're talking about here, reach out to us regarding our coaching and our peer groups, where we will help you develop this financial operating system so that you can win in business. See you at the Financial Masterclass. Otherwise, see you at one of our events, or see you in our coaching or peer group program. I'll put a link on how to learn more about that as well into the show notes.